Hey, Mark Rodriguez here.
This is Johnny Rodriguez.
And this is kind of, I think we're going to call it kind of like a lightning round version of Mark's Wrestling After Shock Reviews, where it's still real to us. First of all, the surprise was that, there was only one match in the buy-in. They had like a half hour of just pure, promos and interviews, the story of Cody training and all that stuff.
Pretty much explaining the story why, they're going to fight against the opponent they're going to fight with.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So when the thing actually started, it was just one match. So yes, the buy-in match was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, fighting against B. Priestley, like finally, they're, fighting against each other after all this drama they've been having. And so I guess you guys were correct. I was the only one that voted for B. Priestley. Everyone else voted for Baker. And yeah, it's a pretty intense fight. They both fought off pretty good. I think it was a better match. I know Priestley kind of does slip-ups, but they actually used that against her. Like, Baker actually said in her promo about that, hey, some people are professional, but she's not professional. She's just trash, blah, 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 blah.
There was a lot of shade in that promo.
Yeah. And, but yeah, it was a pretty good match. It was pretty intense. It was better than I was expecting because I was afraid of it being bad. But it was pretty good. And, in the end, Baker did grab her in her submission move and did put her hand in her jaw and everything. And, B. Priestley tapped out, and that was the end. Now, the big shocker was that even though the match is over, Awesome Kong and Brandy Rose just show up randomly. And I thought that, I thought maybe they were going to convince, Priestley to join them or something. But no, they attacked her. They cut her hair and kept her hair. I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, I was weird, And people were making jokes about, I wish I could cut her hair and keep it too, whatever, but that's kind of weird. So Awesome Kong and Brandy Rhodes are, I guess, attacking everyone. So yeah, so you guys were correct. So now with the actual Full Gear event starting, first match was the tag team match with Young Bucks fighting against Proud and Powerful, which is Santana and Ortiz. And it was kind of surprising. I think all of us were voting for the Young Bucks.
For the Young Buck, pretty much.
Yeah, but Proud and Powerful actually won. It's a pretty intense match. It was pretty intense. A lot of action. A lot of cool spots. There was a weird spot where one of the... I don't know who is who in the heat of the moment, but one of the brothers, one of the Pride and Powerful people, grabbed one of the Young Bucks in some weird stress position. The other one grabbed the other one. It was all connected together, and they had both Young Bucks in some weird position.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, what the hell was that? And then one of the Young Bucks also, like, oh my god, he grabbed one of them for the suplex, another suplex, grabbed suplex to both.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah. But it was pretty intense and surprising to us that we all voted for Young Bucks. Proud and Powerful actually won. Now the real shocker was that of course they attacked the famous old school tag team Rock and Roll Express. Of course, they're kind of up there in age. They attacked them in an earlier episode of AEW Dynamite, and yeah, they got in there. One of the old guys actually, I'm sorry, I can't know what these guys are called. That was a bit before my time. They're more like in the 70s or 80s or something. But yeah, one of the old guys actually grabbed like Santana and did like a flipping slam, and I'm like, holy shit! And then the other guy
still got it
and still ran and dove through. Like, you're not gonna see someone of that age dive through the ropes. And it was like, holy shit. So even though, the Young Bucks still lost, it was still cool to see the Rock and Roll Express, and of course people were like, you still got it, and all that. So that was pretty intense. But yeah, the overall match was awesome, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Pac versus Adam Page. And I do believe all of us were going for Adam Page. I don't think no one was voting for Pac in the thing. And it was Adam Page actually won that one. Pretty intense match, as you would expect. Very violent, brutal match because Pac just wants to beat the shit out of you, And damn, those kicks and everything. And what do you think more of that seeing Pac now compared to back then when he was still Neville? Like,
I'm just totally different, like, pretty much.
I think he got more buffer too. I don't remember Neville being like that muscular though. That was pretty intense there. Then we had Joey Janela versus Sean Spears with Tully Blanchard in the background. And all of us were voting for Joey Janela because, Sean Spears doesn't do all that much, but surprisingly, Shawn Spears won the match. He actually,
She fought pretty good in that match.
Yeah, and Joey Janela, did some good offense, did a couple of good moves. Joey's very good at taking a lot of damage. So he took a lot of damage during the match and everything. Tully Blanchard, of course, cheated, distracted the ref and all that kind of shit. And the big surprise was that, what's his name? Spears actually grabbed Janela for a power drive or something, and Tully Blanchard actually jumped off to help do the move together, and that was kind of cool. But yeah, in the end, Shawn Spears actually won the match, and I'm not sure if that's a good sign. He's gonna rise up the ranks. A lot of people may consider that Joey Janela's not a big deal, but in my opinion, it's way better him defeating Joey Janela compared to Brandon Cutler. So maybe Spears is rising back up.
Yep.
And also, oh god, more shade. There was an interview with Kip Sapien, which I don't know why he wasn't even here, but apparently behind the scenes he's going out with Penelope Ford, and Penelope Ford used to go out with Joey Janela, and I don't even know why. These random interviews got nothing to do with none, and it's weird because they also throw shade at their real life relationships. But of course, Joey Janela is the bad boy, and Kip Sapien, I guess, is the super bad boy. So he suddenly said, they're asking you what do you think Penelope Ford? Well, I'm thinking, why go for the bad boy? We could go for the super bad boy that winks and all that. So it's kind of like throwing shade at Joey Janela for their real life affairs. So that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, maybe that'll provoke a future match between Joey Janela and Kip Sapien. So then we have the three-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. It's so-called Uncensored versus Lucha Brothers, Cero Miedo, and what's their call? Private Party, which of course Private Party won the match to be in this match. They won the match in the last episode, and yeah, it's a pretty good match. Lucha Brothers really rocked the house. It was very intense, so they didn't do the Cero Miedo every 10 seconds like they usually do, so that was kind of good. Yeah, that's a good moves. That's a good action. I was kind of surprised. I think, all of us were voting for Lucha Brothers, weren't we?
Yeah.
But in the end, and I was surprised because with these different people, I was thinking that we are going to have some new champions. But no, SCU still won. They still defended the titles. In the end, there was a big confusion where this other mysterious Pentagon Jr. showed up. And it's confused, oh my god, who is this other person, And of course, it was Christopher Daniels with makeup. So Christopher Daniels is now back after getting injured. So, SCU, we're still tag team champions. We'll see how long that lasts. But that was a pretty good match. I was really, I know it was too soon.
It was very intense. It was very,
Yeah, I mean, it was too soon that they got the titles, but I was really expecting someone else to win. And there were moments that it looks like the Private Party was going to win, but, And, let's see here. So then we have the Women World Championship singles match. It was Emi Sakura, of course, with the, what's the name, Freddie Mercury gimmick, going up against Riho with the extra thing that Emi Sakura is also Riho's master or teacher. And, yeah, pretty good match. It was kind of, I guess it was kind of slow a little bit at parts, but it was still pretty good. Both women know each other, so they kind of know how to counter each other's moves and everything. The big thing is at the end, Riho still won, but oh my god, it was so close. It really was very close.
Really close.
At the end, there was a fast sequence where they were both trying to do each other's moves, but they both know how to avoid and get out of it and whatever, and turn all that bullshit. But in the end, Riho still managed to get Sakura down and pin her for the 1, 2, 3. And of course, Sakura still, raises her hand, so respects her student.
Yeah, it was still, a very classy match in that respect. They still...
Yeah.
They were very professional in that match.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. But I think... Well, obviously you guys are looking at the clip, because I'm putting the clip there. I forgot who voted for who. I think most of us did vote for Riho, and in the end, Riho did win. So she's still the champion. I still thought it was way too soon for her to lose the title, so I'm glad that she's still champion. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, but Riho's pretty much a lot of people's favorites. People are really rooting for her a lot. So, I think that kind of sort of factors into a little bit on her victory.
Yes. And then we had the Chris Jericho match versus Cody for the AEW World Championship. Chris Jericho had Jake Hager with him, and Cody had MJF with him. And like we said, the three mysterious judges, the three judges were Dean Malenko and Arn Anderson and the Great Muta. So all three of them were the extra judges that, you know, if by chance the match goes longer than 60 minutes, they'll decide or whatever. And yeah, and of course the big thing that if Cody loses, he's never going to challenge for the championship ever again. So, you know, it was kind of a slow match at the beginning because obviously Jericho, you know, he's kind of up there in age. He's not going to move around as fast. So the match was a bit like slow and technical. But then Cody messed up. Like he was going to jump and attack Jericho, but he landed on the steel ramp outside. And the steel ramp kind of cut up his like I guess above the eye or something. So he got bloodied up. So that makes the match kind of more intense now because now it's like he's bloodied up. Now Jericho's purposely hitting him there and stuff like that. And Jericho actually grabbed Cody. Yeah, in the end, Jericho grabbed Cody in the Lion Tamer, the good classic WCW movie, Lion Tamer. And it was pretty bloody. It was pretty intense. Cody was in very, very bad shape. It looked like he was in severe, you know, pain or whatever. And MJF threw the towel. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that in a long time in a wrestling match where he actually throws the towel and ends the match. So even though Cody didn't tap out or nothing, the match ended and Jericho was still champion. And of course Jericho celebrates with all his cheesy buddies, you know, out there. And of course one people were waiting for the longest time is, you know, when is MJF going to be a traitor and all that stuff. So at first it looked like Cody was going to get mad and Cody was going to attack him because it was like, you know, his fault or whatever. But then he acted like, yeah, you know, I'll forgive you. But then, you know, MJF hit him in the balls. And MJF is the bad guy now. And Cody's down. And MJF is like, it's my turn now. It's my turn. Okay, it's my turn or whatever. And he left. And to make it like extra drama that's still real to us, when MJF was leaving the audience, some random person threw beer at him. Like an actual fan threw beer at him. And a person, of course, he was escorted out by security or whatever, but I just added the realism, and in my opinion, it made it a bit more real that people, like, really hate him.
Yeah, personally, I think, I mean, yeah, there's rules that they have to follow, but I don't know, they should have really escorted the person because, like, freaking person's a bastard anyways.
Well, I know, but he's, you know, in character, and, you know, the person could have gotten hurt for real or something like that. You know, the beer can could have hit him in the eye or something. You know how it is. Those are always kind of risky. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, it did add extra. Like it really made it look like an extra douche. Yeah. Even the audience hates him. So that was kind of cool. And but yeah, so Jericho's still the champion, and Cody is now allowed to challenge again. I guess Cody's gonna fight against MJF now or something.
But remember, audience, no matter what happens, do not throw beer at the wrestlers. Don't do anything they're not supposed to do because it's really not worth getting kicked out in a live event like that. I mean, it costs a lot of money to go there, to travel there, to go there, and then you get kicked out because you did something stupid. I mean, that's
don't let your passion overthrow you, you know. So anyways, now for the real final match. The match here is the Lights Out sanctioned match, which you just barely saw, so we'll kind of go a bit longer here. But it's Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. And of course there's, you know, no disqualification, weapons allowed, all that stuff. And I forgot who voted for who because we all kind of voted for different people. I think I voted for Moxley, you voted for Kenny Omega. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in the end, oh my God, it was violent like hell. It was like when they said you're gonna see violence like never before. We're like, yeah,
hey, we're not kidding. It was very violent, very gory, very bloody.
Yeah, they had the bastard of the barbed wire, and he actually beat, you know, Moxley beat Omega with it. He grabbed it, like wrecked it across the person's face. Omega was grabbing him, so Moxley was real quickly like rubbing against the arm so he could kind of let go. They brought in a trash can, a table, but then, you know, Omega brought out his broom with the barbed wire, and with Moxley beat up on the floor, he started sweeping, which of course is cutting because the barbed wire's on it, mm-hmm. So that was kind of intense. They brought out broken glass, I think the glass was supposed to represent, like, in the episode of AEW when Moxley drew Omega through the glass table thing, so I guess it was that same glass. And so instead of thumbtacks, we had glass, so they threw each other in the glass. They had a table that was full of mouse traps, so they drew Omega on the table full of mouse traps. And, oh god, he had an ice pick. And I was like, what the fuck is that shit? That ice pick. And it was like, I guess, like, trying to cut up on Moxley's forehead. And even, like, that whole scene, it was like,
yeah, that was a bit too much.
That was a bit, yeah, that was like, what the fuck, guys? And then the big thing, although it's kind of sort of, but the big thing is that Omega told the Young Bucks and Hangman Page to bring out this thing. It was like a giant-ass, almost like a giant-ass trampoline that was all barbed wire. And both Omega and Moxley, like, threw themselves, like, these bicep, whatever, they threw themselves into that. And they had to be pulled out carefully. Now, this part, I don't buy it that much, because honestly speaking, if they're really, like, I think what happens is that maybe some of the wires are sharp and not all of them or something, because honestly, if they were both stuck on those wires, like, they would have been bloodied up, like, to all fucking hell. And when the people bring them out, they would have been super cut, and the wire stuck on you, you gotta pull it out, like, it would have been bloody as all hell, and it wasn't that bad. So I don't think it was as bad as it could have been, which, thank God, because you're like,
but it was still overall, like, the whole freaking match was like a bloodfest. Like, it was too much.
Yeah, they had a gold chain. There was the part where Omega was almost trying to hang Moxley off the ropes with the gold chain or whatever. Near the end, there's like, I guess, like the Full Gear logo that was like a glass thing with a light or whatever. So Kenny Omega did the V trigger right through, you know, the glass with Omega in there. And so in the end, to basically end the whole thing, Moxley took off like all the ring protection crap, like the mat, so it's just like the wood that's underneath, like the bare wood. And yeah, they kind of finished it off there. They attacked each other. They were trying to do the moves. In the end, Moxley did hit Omega with the paradigm shift move on the wood, and 1, 2, 3, that's it. But that was pretty intense. And I gotta say, I mean, it was bloody at first, but as the fight kept going, you know, the blood has to kind of fall off a bit, you know. And they were fighting on the wood, so they were not doing any more bloody things. But yeah, it was still hard to watch. Like the part that was hard to watch was the part with the stupid ice pick. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And the barbed wire stuff. Like even though, like I said, in real life it would have been way bloodier. It was still kind of like hard seeing them stuck on it, and the security had to get them off it and all that. But wow, so it really was hell of a match. And yeah, so overall, what can I say? If you want to maybe sum up your thoughts, just like the whole event in general.
I would just generally say that this pay-per-view was actually really good. All the matches were interesting. All the matches were long enough, because you know how sometimes there's pay-per-views from certain other wrestling companies where they have these crappy-ass matches with people that are not that interesting. They're too short, and they end like 1, 2, 3, whatever. Like they don't even try, and then it's like, what the freak? Like I paid money for that. Mm-hmm. But here, you really do get your money's worth. Like the action's really, really good. Like, and the you know, they have really good storyline. They have good reasons for, you know, for like this person versus that person. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah. If you could kind of think, what was more your favorite match of the night? If you could just kind of guess more or less.
I would say the Cody Rhodes match with Chris Jericho. Mm-hmm. And then that last one was like
bloody as all hell. Moxley versus Omega.
Mm-hmm. That was super bloody, and then I like the women's match, the Riho versus Sakura. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my opinion, overall, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good long matches. Even the match that I thought I wasn't going to care too much about, you know, Shawn Spears with Joey Janela was still very entertaining. I'm glad that the B Priestley versus Baker was actually good. It was good. Like there were not that many botches or anything. It was pretty good. All the matches were good. All the matches had the people fighting like to their limits, to the maximum. It's like you really feel like the championship matches, you're really fighting to see who's going to be the tag team champ, or if Jericho can keep his belt. Like all the matches had cool things. I was just kind of surprised. I don't know why the I don't know. There's always like behind the scenes reasons or whatever, but I don't know why the buy-in show only had one match. I don't know if everybody else was busy or something got canceled or someone got injured or something like that. But I mean, I guess it was good. I mean, it was good enough. It got us pumped up enough for the fight. I don't know if every match, there were good matches. I mean, obviously the final match, the lights out match with Omega and Moxley was violent like all hell. And some parts were hard to see. I guess I'm biased with B. Priestley. I did like the B. Priestley and the Baker match. Tag team matches were amazing. Yeah, pretty good matches. Honestly speaking, there wasn't really a match that I didn't really care for. They were all pretty good. Like, they're all pretty good, you know. Mm-hmm. And all that. So yeah, guys, that's basically our general thoughts on it. It was a pretty good match, good pay-per-view. I'm surprised there was no advertisements for what the next one's going to be called. So we don't know when the next pay-per-view is or what month or whatever. I do know that Cody and them, the AEW company, did put a copyright to trademark the expression "The Match Beyond." So I assume the next pay-per-view is going to be called "The Match Beyond," but I guess it'll be next year, you know. Now, one thing, of course, is with the pay-per-views costing like $50, you know, I do hope that eventually they do kind of drop it to 30 or something, you know. Like, I don't know. The pay-per-views are like this, where they're every couple of months is not so bad, but if they ever get more of them, you gotta drop the price, you guys, because it is, like, I don't mind too much, because it's like a cool thing, it's a cool party, we hang out with Chuck Rodriguez and, you know, our buddies and whatever, but after a while, it's going to get kind of annoying, whipping out them $50. Like, you get your money's worth, but, you know, $50 is still $50, you know. So anyways, guys, this episode of Mark's Out Wrestling After Shock Reviews. We're doing this video just now coming home, so, you know, we're still kind of sleepy and stuff.
We're tired.
Yeah, the whole thing ended like at 11:40. Because that match was long. Like, the final match, like, this thing started at 7 o'clock, or I guess 7:30 if you don't count the promo stuff. And the actual event ended like around 10 something, because the match was still long with Jericho and whatever. But oh god, the whole thing, like around 11:40, that was long.
Yeah.
That was long. You get your money's worth. And you see that one guy who threw the beer, he missed the match.
Yep.
He got thrown out, so he missed the match. So like what Johnny says, don't
worth it. It's really not worth it, because you know, they're still following the script. You know, it's a storyline they're following. So yeah.
So anyway, guys, it wraps it up for now, and we'll see what other events we'll talk about. Like I said, it's not very common that we're going to talk about the actual TV episodes, because that's just crazy. We had a couple extra ones because Johnny wasn't down.
Yep.
But, yeah, we'll try to see, and hey, we're lucky. Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll get to see a live event together or something, you know. So anyways, guys, Mark Rodriguez here.
Johnny Rodriguez.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.